St. Augustine, commentary on the first letter of John following. And we are witnesses and show unto you that eternal life which was with the Father and was manifested unto us, i.e., manifested among us, which might be more plainly expressed, manifested to us. The things, therefore, which we have seen and heard, declare we unto you. 1 John chapter 1 verse 3. Those saw the Lord himself present in the flesh and heard words from the mouth of the Lord and told them to us. Consequently, we also have heard, but have not seen. Are we then less happy than those who saw and heard? And how does he add, that you also may have fellowship with us? Those saw we have not seen, and yet we are fellows, because we hold the faith in common. For there was one who did not believe even upon seeing, and would needs handle and so believe, and said, I will not believe except I thrust my fingers into the place of the nails and touch his scars. John chapter 20 verse 25 to 29. And he did give himself for a time to be handled by the hands of men, who always give himself to be seen by the sight of the angels. And that disciple did handle and exclaimed, My Lord and my God. Because he touched the man he confessed the God. And the Lord, to console us who, now that he sits in heaven, can touch him with the hand, but only reach him with faith, said to him, Because you have seen, you have believed. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet believe. We are here described, we designated. Then let the blessedness take place in us, of which the Lord predicted that it should take place. Let us firmly hold that which we see not, because those tell us who have seen, that you also, says he, may have fellowship with us. And what greater matter is it to have fellowship with men? Do not despise it. See what he adds. And our fellowship may be with God the Father and Jesus Christ his Son. And these things, said he, we write unto you that your joy may be full. Full joy he means in that fellowship, in that charity, in that unity. And this is the message which we have heard of him and declare unto you. What is this? Those same have seen, have handled with their hands the word of life. He was from the beginning, and for a time was made visible and palpable, the only begotten Son of God. For what thing did he come, or what new thing did he tell us? What was it his will to teach? Wherefore did he this which he did, that the Word should be made flesh, that God over all things should suffer indignities from men, that he should endure to be smitten upon the face by the hands which himself had made? What would he teach? What would he show? What would he declare? Let us hear. For without the fruit of the precept, the hearing of the story, how Christ was born and how Christ suffered is a mere pastime of the mind, not a strengthening of it. What great thing do you hear? With what fruit do you hear? See to that. What should he teach? What declare? Hear. That God is light, says he, and there is no darkness in him at all. Hitherto he has named indeed the light, but the words are dark. Good is it for us that the very light which he has named should enlighten our hearts, and we should see what he has said. This it is that we declare, that God is light and there is no darkness in him at all. Who would dare to say that there is darkness in God? Or what is the light? Or what darkness? Less haply he speaks of such things as pertain to these eyes of ours. God is light, says some man. The sun also is light, and the moon also is light, and a candle is light. It ought to be something far greater than these, far more excellent, and far more surpassing. How much God is distant from the creature, how much the Maker from the making, how much wisdom from that which is made by wisdom, far beyond all things must this light needs be. And haply we shall be near to it, if we get to know what this light is, and apply ourselves unto it, that by it we may be enlightened. Because in ourselves we are darkness, and only when enlightened by it can we become light, and not be put to confusion by it, being put to confusion by ourselves. Who is he that is put to confusion by himself? He that knows himself to be a sinner. Who is he that by it is not put to confusion? He who by it is enlightened. What is it to be enlightened by it? He that now sees himself to be darkened by sins and desires to be enlightened by it, draws near to it. Whence the psalm says, "Draw near unto me, and be you enlightened, and your faces shall not be ashamed." Psalm 34, verse 5. But you shall not be shamed by it, if when it shall show you to yourself that you are full, your own fullness shall displease you, that you may perceive its beauty. This is that he would teach. And may it be that we say this over hastily. Let the apostle himself make this plain in what follows. Remember what was said at the outset of our discourse, that the present epistle commands charity. God is light, says he, and in him is no darkness at all. And what said he above? That you may have fellowship with us, and our fellowship may be with God the Father and with his Son Jesus Christ. But moreover, if God be light, and in him is no darkness at all, and we must have fellowship with him, then from us also must the darkness be driven away, that there may light be created in us, for darkness can't have fellowship with light. To this end, see what follows. If we say that we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness, we lie. 1 John chapter 1 verse 6. You have also the Apostle Paul saying, "Or what fellowship has light with darkness?" 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 14. You say you have fellowship with God, and you walk in darkness, and God is light, and in him is no darkness at all. Then how should there be fellowship between light and darkness? At this point, therefore, a man may say to himself, "What shall I do? How shall I be light? I live in sins and iniquities." There steals upon him, as it were, a desperation and sadness. There is no salvation save in the fellowship of God. God is light, and in him is no darkness at all. But sins are darkness, as the Apostle says of the evil, of the devil and his angels, that they are rulers of this darkness. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. He would not call them of darkness, save as rulers of sins, having lordship over the wicked. Then what are we to do, my brethren? Fellowship with God must be had. Other hope of life eternal is known. Now God is light, and in him is no darkness at all.